I'm Ankita Robin and welcome to SG Global News. From a study showing significant growth in Catholicism among Gen Z driven by young men turning to the faith, to the brutal massacre of nearly a dozen Greek Orthodox Christians in a suicide bombing in Jolani-led Syria, we have many stories to cover. Studies indicate that young men are contributing significantly to the growth of Catholicism among Gen Z. In an interview with Fox Friends, an American morning talk show, Father Michael Tidd, headmaster of Delbarton School, explains that the number of Gen Zers identifying as Catholic rose by 6 between 2022 and 2023. He adds that what especially resonates with many of these young men is the formation they receive in understanding what it means to be a man in today's world, specifically a faithful Catholic Christian man.
A Harvard University study shows that young men are fueling a rise in Catholicism among Gen Z. Father Michael Tidd, headmaster of Delbarton School, a Benedictine Catholic school for young men in grades 7 to 12 in Morristown, New Jersey, observed that number of Gen Zers who identify as Catholic rose by 6% between 2022 and 2023. It is also important to note that in response to loneliness, a search for purpose, and cultural shifts, many young men are turning to faith for answers. In an American daily morning talk show, Fox and Friends, Father Michael shared that in recent years, they have had students received into the church either through baptism as Catholics for the first time or by completing all the sacraments. What especially resonates with these young men is the formation they receive on what it means to be a man in today's society, specifically a believing Catholic Christian man.
We present our students with an experience of what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. We propose, we don't impose, and they come to us, and that seems to be really resonant with them.
Students at Delbarton come from diverse backgrounds, some from practicing Catholic families, others from non-Catholic homes, but all are introduced to what it means to live as a Catholic Christian, both through theology classes and through service in a broader community. Pope Leo XIV shared a video message last week to the faithful in his hometown of Chicago. The Holy Father offered words of encouragement to young Americans. The pontiff shared that many people struggling with depression or sadness can come to realize that God's love is truly healing and brings hope. Father Tidd described the school's retreat experiences as a real game changer for students, along with the shared worship at Mass and morning prayer, which unites the entire student body. He also encouraged young men struggling with loneliness to take initiatives in seeking out others who share similar experiences, dreams, and ambitions, and to work together in exploring life's deeper questions about meaning and purpose. Father Tidd also noted that one of the key benefits of attending a Catholic school is the supportive structure it provides, one that students can engage with not only in the classroom but also through athletic teams and extracurricular activities. When strong bonds are formed in these settings, he said, they create meaningful opportunities for students to explore life's deeper questions.
On the feast of Corpus Christi, Ireland was reconsecrated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus in a solemn ceremony at the Knock Shrine led by Archbishop Eamon Martin. This was the first consecration of its kind in over 150 years and coincided with the 350th anniversary of the revelations of the Sacred Heart. Pope Leo XIV also addressed the pilgrims gathered at the shrine and imparted his apostolic blessing on the occasion.
Ireland was reconsecrated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus by Archbishop Eamon Martin, Archbishop of Armagh and Primate of all Ireland on the 350th anniversary of the revelations of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The ceremony took place at the Marian pilgrimage site of Knock on Sunday, June 22nd, the feast of Corpus Christi. Pope Leo XIV addressed the pilgrims at Knock in a special message marking the solemnity of the Most Holy Body and Blood of Christ and the nation's reconsecration to the Sacred Heart. In his message, the Pope extended his cordial good wishes to all gathered at the Knock Shrine and prayed that the solemn occasion will provide a grace-filled opportunity for participants to deepen their devotion to the merciful heart of Christ. The Holy Father also imparted his apostolic blessing and prayed that the faithful grow in zeal for spreading the gospel and promoting Christian charity. During the ceremony, Archbishop Martin acknowledged the many challenges faced by the Catholic faith, by families, and by humanity at large in today's world. He emphasized that the renewal of the consecration is meant to secure refuge from all dangers, visible and invisible. He also gifted the shrine an image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus designed by the seminarians of the Diocese of Armagh to mark the occasion. Ireland was first consecrated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus in 1873. The devotion itself originated from the revelations of Jesus to Saint Margaret Mary Alacoque, a French visitation nun in the late 17th century. At a time when Jansenism stressed divine justice, devotion to the Sacred Heart emphasized God's boundless mercy, offering a counterbalance rooted in love and trust in Jesus, symbolized by his heart.
Religious Freedom Week 2025, observed from June 22nd to 29th under the theme Witnesses to Hope, has been launched by the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. Each day of the week focuses on key challenges to religious liberty, including political polarization, mandated IVF coverage, threats to Catholic migrant ministries, and restrictions on parental choice and education. The initiative encourages Catholics to pray, reflect, and take action in defense of religious freedom, not only for themselves but for people of other faiths.
The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops launched Religious Freedom Week 2025 under the theme Witnesses to Hope, which is being observed from June 22nd to 29th. This federal initiative calls on Catholics to pray, contemplate, and work to safeguard religious freedom not only for themselves but for people of all faiths. The feast of St. John Fisher and Thomas More, the martyrs of conscience, marks the beginning of the observance and ends on the solemnity of Saints Peter and Paul. According to Bishop Thomas Paprocki of Springfield, the theme draws inspiration from Pope Francis's Jubilee year and resonates with St. Paul's words, "Hope does not disappoint." The annual report submitted by the USCCB's highlights fundamental crises affecting religious liberty, including political polarization, IVF mandates, threats to Catholic migrant ministries, and limitations on parental choice and education. He also emphasized the dual commitment to rights and civic duties, encouraging Catholics to defend both faith and the common good. Religious Freedom Week welcomes believers to engage powerfully through prayer, schooling, and public advocacy, sustaining the Church's mission and fundamental right to live and worship freely in the United States and beyond.
Following the Angelus prayer at the Vatican, Pope Leo XIV strongly condemned the recent U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities and Iran's retaliatory missile attacks on Israel. He warned that escalating the conflict would only deepen existing problems and leave lasting wounds that may take generations to heal. On Sunday, the Pope issued a powerful appeal for peace, warning the international community of an irreparable abyss as violence continues to escalate in the Middle East.
Pope Leo XIV issued a strong call for peace on Sunday, cautioning the international community of an irreparable abyss as violence intensifies in the Middle East. Speaking after the Angelus prayer at the Vatican, the Pope condemned the recent U.S. operations on Iranian nuclear sites and Iran's retaliatory missile attacks on Israel. He warned that a war would only increase problems and inflict deep wounds that could take generations to heal. He also highlighted that no military victory could overpower the pain of grieving mothers, the fear encountered by children, and the stolen future of the youth. He urged world leaders to act with responsibility and wisdom, adding that diplomacy should substitute weapons and humanity must avoid heading down a path from which there is no return. Tension spiked after Israel launched raids on Iranian nuclear and military facilities on June 13. The US joined the offensive with military airstrikes on Iran's nuclear sites in Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Tehran reacted with a missile barrage on Israeli cities, reportedly killing at least 25 and injuring hundreds. Iran claims 430 deaths and over 3,500 injuries from Israeli strikes. The Pope also drew attention to the worsening humanitarian situation in Gaza, calling for increased aid. He said that no war is far away when people's dignity and lives are involved. Bureau Report, Shekinah Global.
A groundbreaking new study has confirmed that praying the Rosary provides measurable benefits for mental health and emotional well-being. Published in the Journal of Religion and Health, the research links the centuries-old Catholic devotion to reduce depression, increased empathy, and greater inner peace. Many Catholic social media influencers have been instrumental in spreading awareness of the Rosary, a devotion now shown to empirically improve mental health and overall well-being.
A new study published in the Journal of Religion and Health has revealed what Catholics in every era have experienced praying the Rosary, a positive effect on their mental and spiritual well-being. The study, titled "Is the Rosary Still Relevant? Exploring its Impact on Mental Health and Well-being," interviewed 360 participants from Italy, Poland, and Spain. It has found a moderate correlation between praying the Rosary and reducing depression, increasing empathy, and lowering religious struggles. The Rosary also proved to be a source of inner peace and a coping mechanism during times of distress for the participants. Researchers found that 62.2% of participants who regularly prayed the Rosary held a graduate or master's degrees, challenging the assumption that traditional Catholic devotions appeal mainly to the less educated. As mental health crises escalate globally and the limitations of pharmaceutical approaches to psychological well-being become more glaring, the study invites people to take up the beats and meditate on the lives of Jesus and Mary. Catholic influencers on social media such as Jonathan Rumi, Mark Wahlberg, and Gabriel Castillo have contributed to a heightened awareness of the power of the Rosary prayer and inspired thousands to pick up their rosaries. Ascension's Rosary in a Year podcast, hosted by Father Mark Mary Ames CFR and launched on January 1st, 2025, was at the #1 position on Apple Podcasts in the first week and hit 1 million downloads in just 4 days.
A devastating suicide bomb attack struck St. Elias Greek Orthodox Church in Damascus on Sunday evening, killing at least 22 and injuring 63 worshippers during Holy Mass. The assailant, affiliated with Islamic State, opened fire inside the crowded church before detonating an explosive vest, marking Syria's first major IS attack and suicide bombing since the fall of Bashar al-Assad. The Greek Orthodox Patriarch had mourned the victims as martyrs and reaffirmed its commitment to faith in the face of terror, while the Greek government called for justice and protection for Christian communities.
At least 22 people were killed and 63 wounded in a suicide bomb attack at St. Elias Church in Damascus, Syria, on Sunday evening. According to Syria's Interior Ministry, a man affiliated with the Islamic State entered the Greek Orthodox Church in the old Christian quarter of Damascus during Holy Mass, opened fire at more than 150 worshippers, and then detonated an explosive vest while inside the church. Videos and pictures from inside the church showed dead bodies, significant destruction, shattered glass, broken pews, and blood-splattered floors and walls. The attack is the first major IS operation and the first suicide bombing in Syria since former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad was toppled in December. The Greek Orthodox Patriarchate of Antioch, in a statement, lamented the treacherous hand of evil that took the lives of Christians who died as martyrs while offering prayers. The Patriarchate also said, "We reaffirm our unwavering commitment to our faith, and through that steadfastness, our rejection of all fear and intimidation." The Greek Foreign Ministry also condemned the attack and demanded that Syrian transitional authorities take immediate action and to hold those involved accountable and implement measures to guarantee the safety of Christian communities. Bureau Report, Shekinah Global.
That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.